Looks like we're going to be all right. All right, all right. Okay. Just bear with me a second. We had to switch over to our backup method. Nine. Oop. I'm going to do that again. Oh. All right. Okay. Getting a little late start today, 25 minutes late, but that's okay. We got a four or five shows today. I'm not quite sure. Oh, paste. Okay. All right. Let me get back over here. Okay, so we have, we have liftoff. We've got Renata Eirini is in the house. She could not get on through our main method. So I used our backup method, which is Zoom. And she should be here in a second. Make sure she got it. Okay, she got it. All right. All right. Let me just pull up. Only problem with the backup method is I can't see any comments. So I'm going to pull up my my Facebook page, which is the main place people go. We are live on 15 platforms, but I can only see the comments on my page. And let me just pull those up. Hopefully she'll be here in a second. Okay, make sure the sound's off. All right. Hello, Kristen Nagel. What's happening? Boom. She should be here in a minute. Hello, Zana. And hello, Bokobo Betso, BK Malfane. And Beth Buslash, what's going on with you? And Taryn Warren and Allison, New York. Allison, New York. I need to talk to you about two things now. And here comes our sister. We'll come back to that. All right. All right. Here she is. Yeah. Promote to panelist. Why is this damn thing crooked? Whole world's gone crooked. All right. Eirini, can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can.
Hello, Eirini. Hello. Long time no see. Thank God we hit the back.
We did it.
I know, man.
Hello, dear
anytime, well, anytime we have technical problems, we always have a great show. So
all the times we had
I know.
all the times we had problems, I know it's coming from me.
Well, it's coming from, I actually think
I'm blocking it.
I think it comes from the connection, the frequency, but definitely.
You know what it is?
What is it? It's because you
do not feel comfortable. I do not feel comfortable doing live shows. This is why I prefer to always write. That's why I mostly write on my page, and I avoid the lives.
I know you do. I know you do. And I really appreciate you coming in and sharing space with us today. I know you don't like going on. There's a few other sisters out there that are the same way, and I try to get them to come on every now and then. And a lot of times I'll make the appointment
myself, and I'm trying to work on it, you know. Yeah. And let me share. I'm trying to share the
Go ahead. Take your time. Take your time. Hello, Shelby from the Blue Ridge Mountains, and Gina, Lisa, Messaroli, Desiree Lynn Mathis. All right. And Sharon McMillan Thompson, long time supporter. Zana Kozar is also a longtime supporter. She says, kudos to all who have the guts to come out here, such as you. You look beautiful today, by the way.
Thank you, dear brother.
Thank you. You are. Go ahead. We're not going to get.
Huh? it is a challenge for me every time to come on the live and also speak in English. Of course, I do sessions online with groups, but it's not the same. I don't know why, but I'm pushing myself and I'm working on it so that I can speak my voice, I can speak my soul's message. Yeah, I'm breathing. It's
Well,
okay.
we can, we're here to support you. And you're actually the perfect example of the type of energy that, and you've been on, but I mean, that we need more of. I'm not trying to put any pressure on you and your sisters, but there's a whole bunch of you around the world that have been doing this stuff for years. And you've been on the show several, maybe what, 4 or 5 times. And so I know your story, and your story is very similar to a lot of sisters around the world, and a few men, we had one on the other day, Stephen Papiatek, and he's been doing it since he was in his 20s. He's probably 50, 45. I hope I don't get in trouble for that. But yeah, I just want to say thank you, for what you and your sisters have been doing all these years. It's all coming to fruition now. It's all coming true now. No matter what it looks like out there, no matter what this cartoon that's playing out there looks like, the real power is as a result of all the work you guys have been doing all these years. It really
Yeah,
is. There's
it's
so
true.
many.
And it's changing so fast.
Yeah.
It is changing so fast. I mean, what we were doing some years ago has nothing to do with what is happening now.
Yeah.
It is basically the whole process and the whole energy is being concentrated to the self.
Yep, that's right.
To the I am presence.
That's
and
right.
There's not much you can do anymore for the collective. The best you can do is actually work on yourself as much as possible.
That's true. Yeah, and that's it. We were talking about this last night with Yvonnya, who's a lot like you. Same thing. It's like Morgan, like so many of your sisters, and she was saying what you're saying, and another version of what you're saying, but it's the same thing. She was talking about how we can't fix anybody else. And that's changed, and I said, yeah, you're right. I've noticed that, because I remember in 2019, late 2019, going into 2020, everything started to shift. And the best way I could describe it is self-empowerment. So I watched it put a lot of pressure on practitioners, because they were used to doing it one way, and now they're having to shift and do it another way. And it's challenging, it's challenging. Because you're right. We can't really do anything. Well, let me rephrase that. We can't do anything in the old way for the collective. It's not as effective, and it's probably not permanent, but we can actually serve the collective to the best of our ability by doing what you said, handling our own shift, right?
Yeah, with me, it was never fixing anybody. Maybe it was at the very beginning, very beginning, but this got corrected very, very fast. Yeah. It was never about fixing anybody. It was basically doing what we were called to do for the collective, but then each individual, each human presence should work on themselves when they were ready. Yeah. We were and we are still providing the keys.
That's right.
The keys we have found for us, it is the keys that everybody can use, right?
Yeah, you're right. Thank you for the clarification.
It was never about fixing anybody.
No, you're right. You're right. You show them the door, right? You take them to the door. Yeah. And then you say, here are the tools. Yeah, you're right. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, do whatever you can with the tools, but you're gonna do it, not me.
That's right.
At the very beginning of somebody who's become, let's say, a healer, this is a challenge, not to do things for the other person, but then you get to know, you get to understand. And the more you work on the relationship with your parents, the less the need to fix anybody, because basically with my own work and with the work I do with people in sessions, the spiritual part is not the difficult one. The great challenges are coming for the people when you come down to the relationship and the programming from the parents. Yeah. This is where is the most difficult part. This is what I've seen, at least.
No, you're right.
The most difficult part for people to deal with, because the subconscious has been identified with the mother and the father. Yeah. It is very tricky to really work on that and really start to recognize who you are, recognize your limits, recognize your programming. This is what I've seen is the most challenging. Most of people do know that they have a soul history. They do know that they do not remember. They're very open into, working with the spiritual aspect or the soul's history. But when you come to the relationship with the parents, the codependency or the programming, this is where the challenge is. This is why many healers are getting confused. This is where the tricky part is, because most of the times it's about saving the mother or the father who wasn't enough, or who was, abusive or whatever. Yeah. And this is the projection a healer can do on inside the session. Yeah. With another person.
Yeah.
But once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. There's a lag. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, once the healer recognizes this, it's very easy after that to not interfere with the other person. Once, yeah.
I've heard Morgan. Well, I can't even say my wife's name. Morgan. Morgan. I've heard Morgan say many times to clients that your parents are Father God and Mother Universe, right? Mm-hmm. And so all the programming came from Father God and Mother Universe, or what you perceived as Father God and Mother Universe. So I love the way you explain it, because what you said was, we know we have a soul lineage, we have an ancestral lineage and all that stuff. We know because we have these experiences, dimensional and not, whether you're the client or the facilitator, doesn't matter. But until you have to start with them, don't you? Like you have to start with your mother and father, even if you didn't know them.
I don't know, because what I've seen, how I work is very, very organic. Maybe it will pop up later in the session. I don't know if it's definitely in some cases you start from the father and mother, but not always. It depends on the higher self. Whatever the higher self says, whatever the higher self shows, and whatever the need of the person is. But most of the times, the big blinders is with the mother and father, not even the ancestor chain, not even the vows, not even the, some black, whatever techniques from another lifetime. No.
Yeah, true. Well, I guess the bottom line is, like you said, is all those things have to be, whatever it is blocking you from knowing yourself. And I know that sounds like a cliche, but it's happening now, isn't it? I mean, it's happening. I mean, I had a huge dream, I woke up at 4:44 exactly. I went to bed probably about 1:30 or 2. And I woke up, when that happens and you wake up and your body's like, I want to go to bed. And they're like, get up. So I had to go. I went out of the bedroom. I sat on the couch and I waited for about 15 minutes. I said, okay, what are we going to do? And then it all came in, and it had to do with, I guess what it was, it had to do with what's happening now. And like you said, it's changing very fast. And not only do you see the I am presence in yourself, but you see the I am presence in everyone else. And I was being told, don't talk about people. if you're not sure, don't say anything, be silent. That a lot of people, all of us are going to be susceptible to acting out and to being charged and being triggered, and that we can't, there's no exceptions. We have to walk the talk in order to bring this new frequency all the way in. And I got a couple of messages from people. You know how that works. What you get from there shows itself to you down here. And had a couple of people write me a couple of messages that were kind of interesting. And I just the messages further explained to me what I was receiving. There's no ownership in the universe. We own this. This is all we have. Everything else we share. You can't hoard anything. You can't own anything. It just doesn't work that way. That's one of the bases of this realm that has made it imbalanced, and that to answer or not answer with integrity, because we're making this up. It's not like we have directions here. It's not like
to answer with integrity as much as you can, because if you don't know yourself, how can you answer with integrity, right? There's always, if there is a false part of the personality interfering, if there is unresolved trauma, how can you answer with integrity? Definitely. It's a process. It's a process. And we're going through a huge process now. And for me, some months ago, I went what I call a second awakening within my awakening process. And it was very ugly. It was very ugly.
Was it really?
Very ugly.
When did this happen?
This happened back in February, March. And many of the things that not necessarily believed, but I was processing, just fall apart. And I almost left this my body. I had to ask for help for this one. Wow. And it took me some time to actually find my balance again. And in that, there were many things that just collapsed, and I realized after that I always knew about these things, that they were going to collapse, and because I always was asking for the truth, for eternal life, true life, and the truth. But it was more clear to me after that the entrapment or the distortion, it is multidimensional. And of course, I knew about that. And I know that many light workers are in this process now of allowing a lot to fall apart and just, collapse, because the program runs multidimensionally. And I'm talking about the fake light program.
Yes.
It runs multidimensionally, and one now needs to really put the intention from the heart to, first of all, recognize the truth, and second, conquer. And I say conquer because it is like conquering the real state of existence. It is like waking up, like reaching through internal life. And within the program, what I've seen is that all this talk about the new age coming, a big part of it is in the program. It runs in the program. And it's been running like that for many eons and many ages. And ages were changing, either more dark, either more light. But it is the program, and we need to slowly allow it to fall, to collapse.
Yeah.
But there is still a big pull. There is a very strong pull from the fake light program for many souls, because we have been in this for ages.
Yeah.
This is why I've been working a lot lately with people to try to remember, to gain the true remembrance before the falling of the souls, before the falling in the program. And most of the people usually remember, let's say, a very strong experience like the fall of Atlantis or the fall of Lemuria, but it's very difficult to actually reach the remembrance before the great falling. And what I've seen also through the years is that whatever happened to its soul while we were, okay, I'm using past tense, but it's not like that. It all happens in a parallel, simultaneously.
Multidimensional.
Time, yes, but I will use past tense just to have a clear understanding. I have noticed through the work all these years that wherever one was before the great falling of the souls, whatever was happening there, it is very, very, it is straight, it has a straight connection to all the journey inside the program and to whatever its soul needs to learn from this.
So wherever we were right when the fall occurred, right?
And before.
Okay, I got you.
It has a straight connection to all of our experiences through the different ages.
Yeah.
And it has a straight connection to what we need to heal with our relationship with true creator. And this is another big challenge when we reach inside the sessions, the relationship, the restoration of the relationship of the soul to the true creator, to true creation.
Yeah.
This is another part that is quite challenging for everyone.
I love the part about, I just want to,
the story is big.
Huh? What's big?
I'm saying the story is big because
it's huge. We are the saga of the universe, man. This is like,
yes.
So that because you have that multidimensional, and I love that I'm going to just say something on that real quick, but we have that multidimensional aspect. And I love that you said it's not just us. The programming is multidimensional, right? The false matrix is multidimensional.
Yes.
And I love what you said too, the false light program, because I always look at everything is a potential program. Potentially, it's a program. Now, in that, it's kind of like the sacred text. If we look at the sacred text, they're programs. But in the sacred text, there's a common thread. You know, there's a common thread that you can't hide. Like there's one, and there's a perfect order, like a divine order, like the golden rule. And then the other thing, of course, is that one unique and equal soul. And there may be others, but what I'm saying is in the programs, there's a thread of truth, right? There's a thread of truth, you can't destroy. And so if I say this to myself for 5-6 years, is Ascension a program?
Yes.
Is Twin Flame a program?
Yes, but there is truth in those programs.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. So even in my existence as a copy of everything, because even the false programs are part of the everything, right? So even in my own existence, I feel like what we're doing is we're following that little thread of truth with all these programs running around us, right? And what do you think's happening now? Because like you said, all the multidimensional aspects of the program or not, it seems like things are becoming clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer. And it all leads
For
back
me,
to...
I think the program will continue, Todd.
Absolutely.
Because the program, it is not the time for the program to finish. Because the program has been given certain time period of existence and certain space. So what I mean by that is that it is not stopping the program, and it has the potential to pull many people in because it will appear as light. And because we are thirsty as souls now, we have been in the dark for long, and we are thirsty to reach the light, right? We need to have this intention of the truth before everything we do.
Yeah.
Because, yes, the program is pulling people in. And it's being presented as light through many beings that are very popular.
Yeah. Let me ask
in
you
the
this.
spiritual community.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Yeah. This is the kind of conversation we need to have. So, for instance, let me give an example. I'll use myself because I don't want to bring anybody else into it. When I woke up, when I reawoke, there were 6 ascended masters, 3 spirit guides, Jesus and Magdalene, right? And Archangel Michael. There was 12.
I remember you said that to me before.
Right. But as I progressed, I remembered very distinctly about 8 or 9 months into it, I went through all of this chaos, like literally in one day. And I remember looking up to, because the ones I spoke to the most were these 6 ascended masters. And I remember looking up at the one that was the main one, and I looked in his eyes and something wasn't right. Now, I knew in that moment that my experiences with him had been pure, but I also knew in that moment that there was a multidimensionality to it, that there was like maybe the ones I had interacted with were the pure thread, but there was all these other threads, all these other programs around it. And I remember looking in his eyes and going, whoa. And it made me doubt everything. And I had to start all over. And then of course I surrendered and they all came back. But I guess what I'm saying is, one of the things that I notice about the subject that you're talking about, and I honor and hold in reverence those who put themselves out there in a very public way. But one of the things I notice is let's say they channel a certain something, or they in other words, they can no longer can't just stay with the ones that brought them here, right? You know what I'm saying? So in other words, it's like the collective consciousness has passed them up. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, even if you're a public practitioner or leader or whatever you want to call it, you still have to grow. You can never stop growing. You have to keep looking, you know?
Yes, and for me, this happened because we had to wake up from within the program, because we were in the program. What does that mean? It means we had lifetimes in the program being very powerful light beings, great magicians, great healers inside the program, right? Having entities that we loved, angels that we loved, you name it. This was inside the program. So once we started waking up in this lifetime, the first thing we remembered was all the loving connections and all the good experiences and the knowledge that we had from inside the program, which is a program of light and dark, good and evil. So we had to pull this kind of knowledge, and also we had to pull this kind of memories. So we went, it is okay. We went through these veils. But if you stay in the veil, this is where the problem is. You go through the ages, you wake up your abilities, you wake up your remembrance, You go through many veils, many lifetimes, through your relationship with many beings from inside the program. But if you are stuck there, this is where the problem is. If you think,
yes,
or if you never think about that this could be the program,
yes,
you're stuck. That
yes,
is
that's what
why
I'm
I
getting at.
say.
Thank you for saying it better than I could. Yes.
That
Like,
is why I say always the intent of the truth and of the true organic eternal life, it is the key. So let's say if there are practitioners out there who are listening now, light workers, I don't know, and they feel something with what we are discussing now, if they place their intent and they speak out clearly, in a loving way, in an absolute clear way, that, listen, I know I have been inside a program. I know I want the truth. I know I do not remember anything. I know it is possible I'm being played with. It is possible, right?
Yep.
And I know all of that. So I'm asking for the pure divine truth, the organic true creation, and my true spiritual family from the true internal life to help me, to support me. And this is what is my intent. Even if I have been lost,
Right.
even if I was stuck right here, right now, I allow for anything that is fake to collapse harmoniously. It doesn't have to happen in a difficult way. I remember, Todd, back in 2006, I was with my Reiki teacher. It was my first, experiences. An incredible woman, but anyway, she proposed to me to go and visit another woman who was a practitioner with Sensor Man and the Violet Flame.
Okay.
And of course I did, because I was looking into things back then. So I go to this woman, and the session starts, and she says to me, okay, go on, place your questions, whatever you want to say. I don't even remember what I asked. It's been many years. But I placed my question, and the woman, she cannot talk to me, and she starts getting really upset. And for me, I was a newbie, and I didn't know what to say. I had this woman who supposedly, she was a teacher and a practitioner for the Violet Flame. And she said to me, you know what? She said, I cannot work with you. I said, why? And she said, it's your fault. I cannot work with you. It is your fault. And anyway, to make a long story short, half an hour later, I felt really bad. I walked out the session, and it took me days to find peace in myself, because this woman, she said it's my fault. But now, after so many years, I understand that my true being was protecting me, and because she wasn't working with the pure energy, this energy was angry at me, and she didn't want, and this energy didn't want to talk to me. And this woman was really upset.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that we do have signs in our path. Maybe we don't pay attention, or maybe we follow what many people do. But for me, let's say, Sensor Man has always been an entity that I could not connect. I just could never connect.
And that's interesting that you say that, because I know people that do connect with Saint Germain.
Yes.
But by the same token, I've never been able to connect with Metatron.
Yes.
And that doesn't mean Metatron is not.
Well,
I don't know what it means. I just know what it
means.
I just know what it means for me. Is what I'm saying. I only know what it means for me.
I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you. I do not resonate with the Galactic Federation of Light. I just don't.
I don't
I
either.
believe, of course, I believe, the existence of this federation. And of course, I understand that they might be working for the light, but for me, it is within the program. For me.
Well, yes, because look, when I've been given information over the years about the history, and this just came back in, it'd been offline for 3 or 4 years, but it came back on about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago. And I was actually shown how the galaxy, just the galaxy, nothing beyond it, how it was formed, the beings that were involved. Okay. They showed me all these different species. They showed me a bunch of different humanoid species. They showed me all these different planets that still exist that we can't see and we don't know about. So there's all this stuff going on. But the thing that I noticed about it was at every place in the galaxy, regardless of the level of intelligence or the dimensional level, there was still imbalance. There was still people owning things, controlling things, And so I said, where did I come from? Like, where did we come from? Because there was other information. And they said, you came from outside of here.
Yes.
And I said, where? And they said, well, look at the galaxy and then look above it. And I did, and it went poof. That's where you came from. That's the answer they gave me. So what I'm saying is that the same elements of righteousness and dark, the program was everywhere. It doesn't mean that these things are bad. It just means don't give your power away, right? You give your power away, you're in the program, basically. If you
it means personally for me, because I've been here for ages.
Yes.
I'm a spirit of an elder in a teenager's bad human body. This is how I feel. It's like
I know what you mean. I'm Peter Pan.
Yes.
I refuse to be.
For me, it means, guys, I don't want to be here anymore in this program. I just don't.
Yeah.
I've seen enough. I'm not saying I'm leaving now. I'm saying my intention is I don't want to be in this program anymore. And I'm working on that.
Yes.
And this is my intention. And I know that truth is not that easy accessible. It is not there for everybody to, just have fun with. It is not like that. And we do have memories of many dimensions before the fall, before the occupation, let's say. This is where we get confused. This is why I don't use 5D anymore. For me, 5D, I have remembrance of 5D.
I agree.
Before the falling. And this is where I get confused. 5D has fallen. 6D has fallen. 7D has fallen.
Yeah.
It is inside the program. This is what we're trying to pierce through.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to say something controversial. And I'm only speaking for myself. Okay? Only for myself. But
me too.
as I understand, as an example, the Law of One, Ra, the Law of One, the book series. I know a lot of people, including people very, very close to me, who that brought them a lot of information and downloads. And I've been listening to it. Sometimes I'll go listen to things off and on. So I've been listening to the audio book. And the other day I was listening and it started talking about the harvest. And it started talking about, and it was just explaining metaphorically the harvest. And it was talking about this group over here and this group over here. Well, right there where there's two groups, that tells me something. That tells me that that's not oneness. That tells me that some people are going to make it. And what's the difference between that and the Christian heaven and hell? Nothing. So we're above all of this. Everything that's been given.
This is inside the program.
Yes,
this is inside the program.
Yes.
But you know what, Todd? Listen to where I find truth in this. I find truth in this in the respect of my brothers and sisters who do not or are not ready to leave the program.
Absolutely.
So if there's going to be a split, right, I cannot force it on anybody.
Right.
I cannot say you need to see this now, you're ready.
Yes.
This would be disrespectful. So what if existence allows that, right? Because true existence actually allowed the occupation out of love, not because true existence hadn't suggested not to go on with this plan they had, those that created it. True existence actually said, no, don't try it. But they went on and they tried it. And true existence allowed it out of love, out of acceptance. So let's keep in mind that maybe some of our brothers and sisters can choose otherwise.
That's right.
Also, there is the let me put another information in this. I am not sure everybody's human, in the sense I am not sure all the people we see out there are living beings. Okay, so those that are, for me, I think this is the case, but not everyone can accept that. Okay, but for me, I believe not everybody we see is a living being. Okay, so if the program continues as it will continue, those who are not living beings will definitely follow the program.
Of course. Yeah.
And I have no judge on that. I don't have any judge on that.
Right.
But I do know that many of us, we are many, and we have asked for salvation. This is about salvation, Todd. I know that the word is heavy. I know the word is heavy. But many of us have asked for salvation. So many of us have created already a movement, a restoration movement. What if others haven't asked about that? What if others are not ready to request such a thing? I've had people in my life many times saying to me, whoa, you're going too far. I'm not ready. Yes. I'm not ready. And okay, this is totally accepted. We don't know what the system will do now, because the system actually approaches the moment of really of a big challenge and collapse, and we don't know how many people will wake up during this this period, because we're entering a very challenging period now. This was the preparation. Actually, this year 2020, it was just the preparation. Now we have stepped our foot inside the great challenge, in the physical.
Yeah. Go ahead. Well, okay. So I was talking to someone 2 or 3 days ago, and it's what you were saying. So they were, and actually I didn't say anything to them at the time because I didn't want to create any confusion. But so what was being said, and I've heard it many, many times, people say, we're over here, or we're going over here. Like, let's just use these terms. We're going to 5D. We're going to this unity energy. And then over here is duality. And so like the thing with the harvest, or heaven and hell, or the divide, or whatever you want to call it. And they said those who were going to the unity consciousness, to the 5D, or whatever they were going to call it. In other words, they were really, what they were saying is that they were superior. That was a superior path. And in that moment, I thought to myself, well, wait a minute. What if from a soul level, higher self, soul level, that this group over here, staying in duality or going deeper into duality, isn't isn't the superior choice for them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do we even know this? So we, again,
Yeah.
all we can do is be vigilant in our own energy field, in our own discernment and our own sovereignty, because we really don't have a say so with anybody else, do we? Like what
No.
business is it of ours, and who are we to think that we know what the right thing is, but for ourselves, right? So
But the opposite has happened to us. The opposite has happened to us, meaning that, let's say, we here in Greece, we are now in our 3rd week of quarantine again, and we are not allowed to go out of the house after 9 o'clock, and there is police everywhere. And so, meaning somebody else, people, some forces are actually have a saying on us, right? And we're still here in a three-dimensional body.
yeah. So how does that work? Like
I'm just saying that the more you are, the lower you are in distortion, you can totally place control on others. The more you leave and you allow your true being to take over, the less you want to control others. And we are in the middle now. We have reached that understanding. We are working for that. We are understanding this. And this is how we are opening our path to actually be free from this kind of controlling situation.
how do you deal? I mean, like, how do you deal with the quarantine and the curfew from an energetic standpoint, like being who you are? Okay, how do you, on a personal level, how do you confront that? How do you address it? How do you navigate your day?
First of all, I have no connection whatsoever with the reason why this is happening. Like, I do not see it. It is not there for me. For me,
Okay.
it's just a big joke.
Yeah.
Not a joke, just a big lie.
Right.
And I cannot find any connection from the beginning. And what my higher self said to me from the beginning was that it is not what they're saying. Don't give your energy there. And this is what I have been doing. But there are many times that I went through every human emotion when somebody, is making me stay inside the house, or I have to, send a message to go out, or I cannot see my friends, I cannot go to the sea. Of course, I've gone through every human emotion, and every time I deal with it. Of course, it is not, my life doesn't change a lot. But the fact that somebody has a saying on what I will do or not, of course, I react many times, and I allow myself to react. I'm fine with it.
So when it's impressed upon you, you allow yourself to feel what you feel, and then it dissipates,
Yes.
and you just go on about. Because really, you're right. For the most part, your life hasn't changed, as a lot of people like us can attest to. We never left the house anyway.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So.
But that was my choice, my free will choice, right?
Yeah. So you talk about, and from a personal level, and thank you very much for being open, so we can learn and maybe pick up some code. That you've pretty much done with this duality with the program, right? And you're not leaving tomorrow,
Yeah.
but you are you are forging a path for yourself to move on, to move into unity consciousness, truly oneness outside of all of these programs, which really which really, based on your description, and I got to say, this is something that we all would have to be open to. I am, which is any and all information that's been given to me right up to this point has very possibly a little piece of the program in it, you know, like maybe less and less as time goes on, you know, and whether it's non-physical or physical, we have to be open, because I guess ultimately, if we can be sovereign down here and we say, I'm not going to abide by the quarantine, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, and that may even cause me physical death or something.
Yeah.
I can't be sovereign here. I can't call myself sovereign if I'm only sovereign here and not in every dimension and timeline. So anything that comes into my field, even if it's a non-physical visitation, I see myself as aligning, and I'm not saying I'm great. I'm just saying I can see that the way for me to forge a way out is to look at that non-physical energetic presence with the same reverence I do with a human being that I'm very opposed to or that I'm very conflicted with. It's all the same material, and I am the center of it all. And sovereignty is sovereignty.
Yes, and the movie.
I just want to say this. I think part of the program is that those things presented to us, and again, this is out of love, but those things that are presented to us, whether they be in the physical or the non-physical, part of the program is to see those things as greater than us.
Which things you're talking about?
It could be anything. It could be anything that comes into my field in the etheric field. It could be anything in the physical field, like a government telling me I've got to stay home. The bottom line is I am God. I'm creating all of this. I've created all of this, and I can choose to change it, and I can choose to forge a path to another place, whatever you want to call it, however you want to explain it.
That is why I said before that we are many now, and we are creating. We are opening the path to this restoration and liberation. But I have to say that I feel, Todd, that there might be a moment where it is not going to be up to us in the sense how we did it up to now. Let's say, we might have divine I cannot find the word now, help, or in a different way.
Divine intervention.
Yes, intervention. Yes. So when this is going to open, and I'm talking about the portal to true life.
Okay.
Maybe it's not up to us.
So you're saying
I am not.
You're saying you're not saying that there absolutely will be divine intervention, but you're saying there's a possibility it could be divine intervention. It could be above us.
Yes, because every time I go in there, and maybe we're not ready yet, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I think we have arranged something in our future. I don't know how long in the future, or how far in the future, or we have all arranged something.
Yeah.
That
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
What do you think of? But I'm speaking about the aspects of ourselves from outside the program.
Right.
It is still us, okay?
Right.
It is still us.
I got that. I got that. Almost like it's a play. Like
almost like waking up from a dream.
Yeah.
But who's gonna set the alarm, or who's gonna do it? Like, we have set the alarm. Let me say it correctly. We have set the alarm. This we've done. We have made it, but we do not know when the alarm will go on, and we don't know on the other side of the veil who's going to be there helping us. I mean, we do know, but I'm saying it is not very clear yet.
What are your thoughts on, and you're in a very powerful place. When I say that, there obviously are portals all over this world, but obviously Greece has been on the radar for at least 3,000. Most of what we consider recent history, like going back 5,000-6,000 years, even to the flood. So what I'm saying is, what are your, because I know you've done a lot of grid work there, and I know you're very connected to the earth and other things. What's your perspective on 21/12/2020, on December 21st, 2020, this period where it hasn't happened in 6,000 years, and you're going to have 6 planets line up with the sun and 6 or 7 moons all in a straight line.
Program. This is the program. For me, it's the program. The opening of the portals were the program. I'm sorry to say that, but
no. I'm listening. I'm all ears. I want to hear every single.
Within this work, we facilitated many light workers. We facilitated the opening of the program to the new age, and at a certain moment, we will have to choose whether we want to move into this new age.
Okay.
It is a program. It is an age.
Okay.
You know.
So in other words, what you're saying is, and I'm very open to this, the planetary alignments and celestial bodies, movements, astrology, all that stuff, because I've had this thought many times, is a template, is an overlay that was one of the foundations of the program. And like everything else, including what we talked about earlier, when an essence comes into your field and begins to communicate with you, there's always an evolution. So at some point, like with anything we come across, which is really outside of ourselves, it serves us to a point, and then because we're sovereign, because we're omniscient, all powerful, all knowing God, we outgrow it basically, and we have a choice to move beyond it. Is this what you're saying? Okay.
Yes, this is what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is actually what I've been feeling lately is that it is the sun. The sun is different.
Now, is the sun, do you think the sun is, do you feel the sun is part of the program too?
Of course. Okay. But I'm saying inside the sun, from within the portal of the sun, there is also the portal of true life. This is what I feel.
Okay.
And astrology is the program, of course it is. Every science that we know is from within the program. And every science studies the program. Now, okay, maybe there are parts of sciences that go beyond, but every science for me studies the program. I am not saying not to use the science. I'm using astrology often. Mm-hmm. Use it as a tool, right? Because I have a human body. Of course, I'm being affected in my everyday life from all the energies that are here. Less and less, of course, not like it used to be. But I have a 3D body. I still, I still have reactions to the energies. And I'm using tools to make my life easier, if possible.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. And
it's like the moon, the phases of the moon. It's like, I mean, there is some.
I never was working with the moon. Never.
Well, I'm just saying, any like the evidence that it affects.
But yes.
Yeah. Because I remember
it as a tool.
I remember having a conversation with the moon. It would have been 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago. And I remember I was in Utah, and I walked out on this upper deck of this house, And I remember looking at the moon and having a conversation with the moon at that time, which I hadn't been religious about, but I was told early on, watch the moon, which I didn't know what that meant. But at that point, and I think it was a full moon, but I don't know if it was anything beyond that. But anyway, I remember having a conversation and saying to the moon, I honor you, I respect you, but you are not, you do not have more power. You're not taking my power. I am equal. I am, in other words, you're not all powerful over me. And it was really just more of a metaphoric exchange in regard to anything external with the universe. But I get what you're saying. And I want to say this too. I love this platform for many reasons. And one of the main reasons is because there's a magic, okay? There's a magic when people speak in a platform where everything is allowed, every opinion, every experience. And
are you saying that because my opinion is like
no,
off?
I'm very no, I'm
It's
very
too much.
I'm very aligned. No, I've always been very aligned with you.
Okay.
You know what I'm trying to say is I love people that make you think, right? I love people that make you think. And I think from a human perspective, like you were saying, I'm in this 3D body, but I love people that make you think. Because look, if somebody says something to you, and it could be about anything, and then you immediately go, no, that's not true. I've tried that path. We've all tried that path. You know, Malcolm X, one of my great heroes, he used to say, he read the Bible. He was a Muslim. He read the Bible. He read the Torah. He read everything that opposed what his belief system was. And he said the reason he did it was so that he could expand his field of intelligence, so that he could make more decisions or better decisions. So I just wanted to say that. No, it had nothing to do with you. It has to do with this moment.
I just wanted to say something about the planets, who of course connect to the Greek mythology and the whole universe. The names of the whole universe, it's Greek mythology, right? I just want to say that the beings, the planets, these huge beings that we say are the program, are creating the program, they also have to respect certain rules, because they are participating in this good and evil tree of life creation. And of course, we have gotten both light and dark through our incarnations and through our experiences, and we still do through these planets. And I just wanted to say that I'm not judging anything. I'm not judging anyone. I'm just saying that I have noticed a few things. We have free will choice, but we have been deceived again and again from our own selves, believing every time we reached a high frequency or a high position in the program, we felt, we did it, and then we were falling again, and then we're trying again, and then falling again. The program has both the lowest of the frequencies and the highest of the frequencies. And it is funny that after this experience I had that I told you, my second awakening within awakening, a phrase from Jesus Christ came to my knowing that I didn't know. I really didn't know. And I'm not saying that everything we know from Jesus Christ is true, because there's a lot of program there. But this phrase came to my knowing, saying that, I think he was saying that there is nothing of this world that you will find use in true life. And this really clicked. Like, you know what I mean? How this actually finds its place to whatever we're discussing now about the program. So he said, there is nothing of this world that is useful in true life. And also, again, through the sessions with many people, we end up, when we reach that point of remembering before the fall, most of us, it is the heavenly children. We haven't heard of the heavenly elders falling. Heavenly elders might followed us for help, but it was heavenly children or heavenly younger ones who fell. Mm-hmm. And this is, I say this and I get goosebumps. This is a very big key for everybody who's here, right? And this is why I'm saying it is very, very, it is more easy to deceive, or let's say fool children. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it happens. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that it happened.
No, I get what you're saying. What you're saying. I mean, it's, well, let me switch gears. I'm just curious. When you went through your awakening within the awakening in February, March, and that all started, and you wanted to, and you thought about getting out of here, what kind of answer did you receive? What kind of answer did you receive from the universe or from your team or your higher self? Any kind of answer? Any kind of message as a result of your intent?
First of all, I didn't want to leave. This was not my intention when this happened. Okay. I just wanted to see what is beyond. And I'm sorry, I don't know if I want to share this publicly.
No, don't share. I'm
not saying, yeah. I'm not saying I don't want to, I'm not saying I'm not sure if I want to share my own experience. I'm saying I don't know if I should share what you're asking me. It is not.
You don't want to. You don't want to influence. You don't. Right.
Not only that, but it's not easy to digest. It is not easy to digest, and I don't know. I feel that part of the reason why I'm stressed with the lives was that I've always been a being. My history has been a being of truth as much as I could, and I had many difficult experiences because of that, and I have received many attacks as a soul. And I'm not saying that this is my fear. I'm saying that this is where it comes from, and there is a memory on that. And the system works with people not remembering.
Yeah.
Those who actually present the truth, the system kick out. The system doesn't want, because there have been deals. There have been great deals actually in other levels that we cannot even imagine. Let me just say that no one can leave the system just like that. Just that. No one can leave the system.
Oh, you mean okay, I wasn't thinking you were going to do that type of thing, but you're saying, just to be clear, that if somebody thinks they can just leave, take themselves out, you're saying that you're still going to be in the system because the system's a lot bigger than what you can see.
No, right. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if somebody, people can read the book of Enoch.
Yeah.
There are things in there about that. What is allowed and what is not allowed.
I got you.
So this is why I told you before that when this opens, it will be coming from an outside decision or help or choice or initiative. We're doing our work, but it is not that easy to leave.
Maybe like we
I don't know
signed
if
it.
you
Maybe
understand what I'm saying.
we had a contract and we signed it and they're going to hold us to it. So before we
Maybe,
get
I
out,
don't know.
well, it's
I
okay. I
just
mean,
don't want to be the one who's bringing difficult
I
news
got
to
you.
everybody.
I got
It's
you.
like,
So, okay, you said that you do, before we get out of here, I want people to know how they can, if you're open to it, how they can get in touch with you, how they can find you. You mentioned that you don't like doing the lives, but you do some online things, right? Like
yeah,
presentations, seminars, or meetings or whatever.
yes, I write about many things on my page, Crystal and Indigo Guide to the Galaxy. This is my page. And there are certain online sessions that I do only after specific group sessions, only after specific guidance I do them. I just don't, it's not something I do every week, let's say.
Okay.
And I only, okay, this I need to say, I feel I need to say this, that just for energetically to clear that. I only work with people who have take the responsibility of their awakening process. So this is something I placed as an intent from the beginning of my path. And this is why, because I cannot, as a being, deal with people who are still in researching, you know. So if somebody comes to me who is not ready, they just leave. They don't like what I do.
Right.
So there are very few people finally staying
No victim
free.
consciousness allowed, right? No victim
Yeah, and I don't
consciousness.
have time and energy for that. I just don't.
Well, it's
I'm
been a
sorry.
long road. It's been a long road for all of us, right? You look beautiful, and I really appreciate you coming back on. I know it's not what you love doing, but I'm glad that
Actually, today was better. Thank you.
I loved it. I thought it was great. You always have great information. I love your perspective, and yeah,
It
I
was
just
better.
I love you, and I'm happy that you came on. You represent an energy that needs to be seen more and more around this world, like I've said many times, and you guys have been doing the work for a long, long time. So hopefully, more and more of your sisters will step up, and
I really support that, and I really thank you for that,
well,
because I think I remember you saying something about that in the show. How the male energy he is being asked now to hold space for the
yeah,
sisters,
yeah,
because the sisters, you know, we didn't have safe space to
no,
express ourselves, right?
no,
And I really honor you for what you're doing, and I really love you, dear brother, and I really
thank you,
love and thank all our brothers who are really, really taking this position.
yeah. Well,
Really,
I
thank
just got
you
to
so much.
say, I had a guide, one of your sisters, taking me through this. So, but
Yes,
again, that's a
you're a
physical.
brave one.
Yeah, she is a brave one. She's a brave one to be with me. But that's a physical representation of what's happening and what you're referring to. There's more and more masculine energy stepping up and holding space. And I will say from experience, and not that I'm done, but it's the same thing. They step up, they feel their new presence, and then the cycle starts again. You know, the programming comes in to challenge you again. We can call it the ego or whatever. And so that feminine energy, has held space. He comes up, she then goes to a higher space, and then that's how it's working. And anyway, thank you for doing what you're doing, and I hope to collaborate with you again next year and check in and see what's happening. And thank you so much. All blessings to you and yours.
Thank you, dear brother.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Love you. Peace out.
You
We'll be
too.
back in 20 minutes with Jason Estes, so stay tuned.
Bye, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Adios, Eirini.